often asked about the balance between playing recitals and playing concertos and playing chamber music. And I do try to maintain a healthy balance between all those three. And I think that primarily the main reason is really the greatest composers, they're not just composers. Each one is like a whole world. Beethoven is a world. It's not just the pieces. It's what's in between them. And what's in between them takes place in various formats. The Beethoven of piano sonatas is not really a different Beethoven from the Beethoven of the chamber music or the Beethoven of the symphony. The ideas percolate and they move around between genres, between formats. And so I think it's really healthy and exciting and nourishing for an artist to experience all types of Beethovens or Schuberts or any of the composers. I think that it's a shame not to be able to experience it. You want to delve into this music and you want to immerse yourself in it, and you're kind of missing out if you don't really perform it in all of its incarnations. The question of where does one find artistic inspiration? It's a big question. I must admit, it doesn't tend to be things outside so much. It doesn't tend to be landscapes or things that I see or necessarily things that I experience. It tends to be ideas more. And more often than not, it actually tends to be art itself. Being a pianist is one of the loneliest things. It's a pretty lonely line of work. But you always have to remember that you really spend the majority of your time not really alone. You spend it in the company of some of the greatest musicians who ever walked the face of the earth. So it's really not that lonely. And you practice that music and you delve into it and you study it and you live it. And there are these moments where you just feel elated and you think, oh my gosh, I really could think of a lot worse things to do. And that stuff gives you inspiration. That stuff gives you meaning and provides a never-ending source of new thoughts and new ideas, just because the music is so great. There are so many ways to present it and so many ways to experience it and to understand it. And I suspect that's really the real source of inspiration. In other words, it comes from the music itself, really. Delicate question, but I would say any hall with good acoustics. It doesn't have to be great acoustics, but good acoustics, where you feel like the sound blooms and you can do stuff with it that inspires you. That makes a concert heaven. Doesn't have to be a fancy place. I have to admit, I'm not a pet person, but for my daughter, I'll say dogs. Burgers. Yep. I'm incredibly looking forward to returning to the Philadelphia Chamber Music Society. I've been there many times, I guess, in various capacities, recitals, chamber music, and every time it's been incredibly enjoyable to play for such an audience, which is appreciative and knowledgeable, and in amazing venues, such as the Perelman Theater. I suppose the most obvious thing, which should not be taken for granted nevertheless, that this crisis has taught me personally, is the true value of a live audience, which is really irreplaceable. And I really miss audiences. I miss the Philadelphia audience. I think classical music, the vast majority of the repertoire we play was meant to be shared in person, in the same room, whether it's large or small. And there will probably be never an adequate replacement for that. For better or worse, I think music will emerge from this crisis in new ways, and it will be presented in new ways. But in the end, the ultimate experience of classical music is right there together with the performers. And I can't wait to see you all again and to do it for you soon.